You need relationships. Never allow yourself to get to a point in your life where you think, all I need is just my husband, all I need is just my wife, or I just need God. It's just me and God against the world. When God works through people. And even Jesus chose 12 disciples and didn't walk alone. So who are you to think that you can do this alone? It's very important that we are mindful that we are not trying to make withdrawals in relationships where we have not made deposits. Listen to me. You are one relationship away from a completely different life. Just one relationship could change everything right now. And you also know this instinctively. You know I'm telling the truth because you've been trying to find that one relationship. We're going to get into that today. My friend, welcome to another episode of Align with Pulugo. I'm really excited to be doing this journey with you, by the way. And as you know, we are going through Unlocking Favor with God and People, which is a book that I wrote, or rather released, about a year ago, less than a year ago, actually. It's only a few months old. So if you don't have a copy, you absolutely must have one. The links are in the description of this video. So just get in there and get yourself a copy. Now, on today's episode, we're talking about the power of relationships, which is the fourth principle in this book as it pertains to unlocking favor with God and people. Now, you know that Align is where faith becomes practical living and personal transformation. And I'm very intentional about this because I have become very, very passionate about seeing faith become livable. Not just something that we speak about on a Sunday, not just something that we feel in our bodies on a Sunday when somebody prays for us with our hands raised, but when we leave there, we leave in defeat. It is very important to me that as a believer myself, I live a life of overcoming, that as a believer yourself, and as somebody who is a part of this here community, you are growing in such a way that your faith is practical, your faith can be seen. When we listen to you, we believe everything that you are saying because we see how you're living. We see how your life is being transformed in real time. Now, as we talk about favor, as we talk about this idea of gaining supernatural advantage, one of those systems of advantage is the system of relationships. Every single one of us understand this instinctively. You know that you are mad that you're not getting a job because so-and-so has an uncle who works there and their uncle will call them and give them the job without giving you a chance to even come in and interview. There are so many of us who are aware of the disadvantage that we have for lack of specific relationships. I want you to stay with me now. Some of us are aware of the disadvantage that we have because we do not have certain relationships. We can tell that if I only had that one relationship, my whole life would change. If I could get connected to so-and-so, my whole life would change forever. Here's what the Bible says in Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 9 to verse 12. The Bible says, two are better than one because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls down and has no one to help them up. Also, if two lie down together, they will keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? Though one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves. Let me say that again. Though one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves. A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. Let me be very straight with this, my friend. You need relationships. Never allow yourself to get to a point in your life where you think, all I need is just my husband, all I need is just my wife, or I just need God. It's just me and God against the world. Listen, it better be you, God, a few friends, a mentor, a teacher, a coach. It better be you, God, and a few people in your corner. Because you need to understand that when God works through people. God works through people. God doesn't show up and reach a hand out of the air just to try and help you with a situation. God works through people. Let me read this for you from Unlocking Favor with God and People. One of the earliest declarations God makes about humanity is found in Genesis 2, verse 18. It is not good for the man to be alone. This profound truth doesn't just speak to marriage, it speaks to the core of our design as human beings. We are created for connection. We are made to walk with others, and in doing so, unlock dimensions that would otherwise remain closed to us. The power of favor is deeply interwoven with the power of relationships. Favor doesn't just fall from the sky, it often flows through people. Listen, let me put it to you this way. That signature that you want, that meeting that you're hoping to have, that deal that you want, that opportunity, there is a human being at the end of everything that you desire to have. The client you want, the healing that you want in your body, there is a human being connected to everything that you are asking God to give to you. And so, because of that, you cannot do away with relationships. You cannot find yourself in a position where you think, as long as it's just me and my God against the world. It's not you and your God against the world. God works through people. Now, the unfortunate thing is that oftentimes you find that people are hurt, people are disappointed, people remember what happened in the past with so and so. This is what they did to me. The last time I trusted someone, the last time I let someone in. I want you to understand that you do not have a choice. As hurt as you may be, as betrayed as you may feel, you do not have a choice but to let people in. You do not have a choice but to find a way to get over it so that you may find the right relationships. And it's very sad that that's what they did to you. It's very sad that that's what you went through. But you don't have a choice but to find a way to overcome it so that you may find the right relationships. Listen to this. Strategic and God-ordained relationships are divine channels through which access, promotion, provision, and preservation come. And yet, because of disappointments, past betrayals, pride, or poor teaching, many people either avoid meaningful relationships or mismanage the ones they have. This is about breaking those patterns. This is about breaking that habit of sabotaging relationships for whatever reason it may be. Now, as we talk about relationships, it's very important to clear something up that most people often misunderstand. Most people often assume that knowing the right person will change their lives in and of itself. But the reason why the previous episodes, and I would encourage you to go and watch the last 3 episodes, where we spoke on gift, right? Where we're talking about the power of a gift. How are you using your gift to bless people? We spoke about the power of value. How valuable are you in the relationships that you have, in the lives of people, in the marketplace, in the society in which you exist? And then we spoke about excellence. What is the standard at which you conduct what you do? What is your standard? Understanding those things is very important to understanding how effective your relationships can be. Your relationships will not be effective just because you know people. I dare you to get the president's number. Having the president's number means nothing. I could give you the cell phone number of the most important person that I have on my contact list. The most powerful person, the most influential person that I have on my contact list. I could give you their number and it wouldn't mean anything to you because you will call and they will ignore your call. You'll try to call again and this time they'll block you because they're tired of you. Stop reaching out. Why? Because what is it? To use the phrase, what is it that you bring to the table? It's very important that we are mindful that we are not trying to make withdrawals in relationships where we have not made deposits. And sometimes people miss this, and so they just assume that relationships are supposed to work for them supernaturally. But the truth is, you are supposed to make something of yourself that makes people want to be associated with you. Relationships are wonderful, but do the people that you want to be associated with want to be associated with you? Do the people that you want to brag about knowing want it to be known that they know you? Or do they try to avoid any mention of you? It's very important that we understand this as far as relationships go, because otherwise we will have this flawed perspective of relationships where we think the only reason why certain people succeed is because they have the right relationships. That is not the only reason why certain people succeed. They succeed because they have the right relationships to amplify the value that they already carry. You must have the value to present to those relationships so that when someone puts their name up behind what you do, it just accelerates what you do. But the problem is, for some of us, there are certain people who have come across your work, who know you personally, and they do not want to ever vouch for you because it would put their name in jeopardy. They know I would be sabotaging myself if I told people that I know this person, if I recommended this person. And so before I mention your name in rooms where influential people sit, I want to know, if I mention this guy's name and they end up getting him in this room, how will that reflect on me? How will it reflect on my character, on my integrity, on my personal standards? How will it reflect on me if I get people to bring this man into this room? I'll tell you now, there is a man called Joseph who we see in Genesis, who finds himself stuck in a prison, right? He finds himself stuck in a prison in foreign land. And from this place, he starts serving people. He helps people, to the point where he ends up being put in charge of the other prisoners because he was really good at taking care of people, noticing the concerns of people. And one of the people that he served happened to be someone who was imprisoned by the king. He used to work directly next to the king as the king's cupbearer. He helps him, and then when he gets released, the reason why Joseph ends up being one of the most powerful men in Egypt, in the Bible, fulfilling a dream that he had for 13 years. The reason why, the Bible doesn't tell us it's because he prayed more. The Bible doesn't tell us that the thing that made it happen was more fasting, and I believe in those things. It wasn't more Bible reading, and I believe in that. The reason why that happened for him is because when he solved this man's problem, he said to the man, when you are finally released and you are back serving the king, don't forget about me. Don't forget about me. Remember me. And the problem is that in our society today, there is a group of people who villainize that kind of language. They try to demonize the language that says, remember me when you walk into that room. My friend, I want you to understand that for as long as you have the value to back it up, as long as you have done the necessary work to justify it, there is nothing wrong with saying, remember me. If you are stuck right now, go into your contact list and see who it is that you know, who it is that you have. That might be some kind of clue to your breakthrough. You should never bring yourself to a place where you are so ashamed of being seen as one who only got ahead because of connections. You should never be so ashamed of someone else taking credit for what they did for you that you find yourself rather opting for suffering. I'd rather suffer. I'd rather suffer. Huh? What a ridiculous thing to say. What do you mean you would rather suffer? You mean to tell me that you are not humble enough to put your pride aside for the sake of your destiny, for the sake of your breakthrough? For some of us, for the sake of your children, your husband, your wife, whoever, the children that you are raising, that you have been entrusted with, who need you to find a way to make the business work. But you don't want to be seen as desperate. There is nothing wrong with saying, remember me, but my friend, you must be willing to do the necessary work for you. Listen, do the necessary work for you to be mentioned in those moments, for you to be remembered at the time that it matters. Because otherwise, it would be self-sabotage to mention your name. So relationships are absolutely, listen, they are vital to your growth, to your development, to your progress, but they must be justified. They absolutely must be. Let me put it to you this way. Moses needed Aaron. Naomi needed Ruth. David needed Jonathan. Esther needed Mordecai. Paul needed Barnabas. And even Jesus chose 12 disciples and didn't walk alone. So who are you to think that you can do this alone? Who are you to think that you can do this by yourself? Listen, even growing up, we grew up hearing that it takes a village to raise a child. Right? Because even a single mother, as strong as she may be, will need some help. Even if she wasn't a single mother, that couple will need some help. Every single one of us need people. Don't make the mistake of thinking that you can do this life thing by yourself, my friend. Let me put it to you this way. And this is from Unlocking Favor with God and People. I want to put it to you in a really powerful way. Right? If you spend any time with truly successful people, you will notice a trend. They always know someone. Whether it's a lawyer, a business partner, a doctor, a designer, or a pastor, there's always someone they can call. Their lives move at a different pace because they are not limited to their own ability. They have learned the art of leveraging relationships. This is not manipulation. It is wisdom. It is how God designed the world to work. Can you imagine where your life would be right now if you thought the only way you could build a house is to learn how to build a house? The only way that you can start eating is to learn how to grow food. Listen, all of us as a society, as human beings, we understand this, that in the grand scheme of things, we live and we exist through the talents and abilities of others. In your personal life, I want you to understand this, that your life will start moving at a different pace if you learn how to leverage relationships. If you learn how to in a positive way take advantage of the relationships in your life. Pour into them so that you will be able to make some withdrawals at a time that it is necessary. Sharpen yourself so that it becomes easier for people to recommend you. Increase the standard at which you operate so that it becomes easier for people to put their name behind what you do and say, I wholeheartedly, confidently recommend him, recommend her. Put yourself in that position and see how your life changes. Your life will move at a different pace because you have the right relationships in place. So I'm asking you, what would it take? What would it look like for you to start leveraging some of the relationships that you have right now to get unstuck where you are right now? You know, just recently when I was doing an execution challenge, there was somebody who said, listen, I'm trying to get my finances right. That's one of my goals. My goal is to get out of debt, to get my finances in order. You know what I said? The simplest thing that you can do right now, the simplest thing that you can do, the simplest way to go about this, find somebody that you know, a friend, a family member, it doesn't matter who they are. Even if the relationship is not that strong, humble yourself enough to say to them, I would love to just bring my finances to you because I'm trying to do better. And I'm hoping that what you can do is just show me what it is that I'm doing wrong. Here are my statements. Show me what I'm doing wrong. You've been doing this. You have been at this for a long time. You've made incredible progress. You have a life that I wish to live. So show me what I'm doing wrong. That's it. That could change your life in ways that you cannot imagine, my friend. So, my friend, may God bless you and may you learn the power of relationships. This is Align with Boloka.